Ladies and gentlemen, the Department of Government Efficiency has just uncovered an absolutely massive Social Security scam. Now, as you all know, the Trump administration has been scouring our federal government's budget for fraud, waste, and abuse, and what they just uncovered within our Social Security system is absolutely going to blow your mind. Because this fraud that they just found is so incredibly blatant that it just makes you wonder how no one has put an end to it by now. But okay, I think that's enough of an intro. How about we just jump right into things? You see, just yesterday, Elon Musk posted on his Twitter page, according to the Social Security database, these are the numbers of people in each age bracket with the death field set to false. Maybe Twilight is real and there are a lot of vampires collecting Social Security. And alongside that, he posted an image displaying how many people are registered in the Social Security system in each and every age bracket. And so, as you can see, something here doesn't exactly look right, because what Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency have uncovered is that there are approximately 12.4 million people over the age of 120 years old that could be collecting monthly Social Security payments. Which means if the average monthly Social Security payment is around $1,900, our federal government might be paying $23 billion each month worth of Social Security payments to people that aren't even alive. And so how does this happen? Well, fraud. Big time fraud. But you know what? Trump's press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, had an excellent breakdown of this entire situation just last night. Take a look.
I've been fighting fake news reporters all day long here in the Washington, D.C. swamp who are trying to fearmonger the American people into believing that this administration is going after their hard-earned tax dollars and their hard-earned Social Security checks. So I want to set the record straight on your show tonight, Sean, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do so. President Trump has directed Elon Musk and the Doge team to identify fraud at the Social Security Administration. They haven't dug into the book yet, but they suspect that there are tens of millions of deceased people who are receiving fraudulent Social Security payments. And so their goal in going into the Social Security Administration is to identify three things. Number one, to identify duplicate payments and to end them. Number two, to identify payments that are going to deceased people who are no longer living and should no longer be receiving that money. And number three, to protect the integrity of this system for hardworking Americans who have been paying into it their entire lives. So rest assured to all of the people watching your show tonight, if you paid into the system, honestly, you will continue to receive your Social Security checks. Do not buy into the lies from the legacy fake news media who are trying to fear you and scare you into believing otherwise. This is what we've seen them do about President Trump for years with every promise that he has made. And he's going in there to protect your hard-earned money. That is the ultimate goal.
And so, folks, right now, President Trump is taking some big steps towards fixing all of this fraud. But before we talk about that, I want to say real quick, if you guys enjoy the daily news coverage, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle against the YouTube algorithm. But okay, take a look at this. Just in the last 24 hours, we have two massive developments as it relates to all of this fraud inside of the IRS. First off, President Trump is set to lay off 1,500 IRS employees within the next couple days. Remember the 87,000 IRS agents that President Biden hired? Yeah, it's time to clean house. And then, on top of that, it was just reported that Social Security's top official just resigned as all of this fraud and mismanagement is coming to light. So folks, definitely some big things are happening right now. But okay, now let's take a look at what Elon Musk himself had to say about all of this. The real reason so many Democrats are upset about entitlements like Social Security and medical fraud investigations is that they are using your taxpayer money as handouts to attract and retain illegal immigrants, their future voters, and that's what it's all about. That is the truth. And I mean, hey, do you guys even think he's wrong? I sure don't. I mean, how can you when there's stuff like this happening? Just the other day, it came out that in 2024, California spent $9.5 billion on healthcare costs for illegal immigrants. So folks, as the Department of Government Efficiency continues to peel back the layers of fraud and waste within our government, the degree to which we've all been getting ripped off just becomes clearer and clearer. In fact, take a look at this next thing. Now we're going to talk about our federal treasury because just yesterday, the Department of Government Efficiency uncovered this little gem. In the federal government, the Treasury Access symbol field was optional for $4.7 trillion worth of payments and was often just left blank, making traceability almost impossible. As of Saturday, this is now a required field, increasing insight into where the money is actually going. So folks, what that means is that $4.7 trillion worth of Treasury payments were being sent out without their destination ever being tracked or traced. So pretty much no one has any idea where all that money went. But luckily, Trump's political advisor Stephen Miller has some insight for us. Take a look at this.
Planning to move? Join the 6 million families who discovered a smarter, more flexible way to move with Pods.
Well, as we know, there's a massive amount of fraud in this country. You have, for example, foreign fraud rings. These are foreign nationals who come into the United States. They use fake Social Security numbers, they use fake identities to steal billions in taxpayer benefits. There's no way to know until DOJ gains full access exactly how much money we're talking about. But over a 10-year normal budget window, you could be talking about saving over $1 trillion by clamping down on massive fraud in our tax and entitlement systems, including, again, those carried out by organized fraud and theft rings. A very important point in all this is to understand that DOJ are subordinate staffers of the federal government. They are political appointees, just like me, just like everyone else in the White House, that serve and answer to the president. So we're not talking about an outside private entity. We're talking about the existing federal staff of the federal government performing their statutory and constitutional duty.
And you know what? It's about time that someone is performing that duty. Folks, I've got to be honest, it's actually astounding that we even still have a country left at all, considering just how much waste and fraud has gone unchecked within our federal government. Between all of the illegal immigrants collecting benefits, the rampant IRS fraud, the corrupt progressive politicians siphoning off money through programs like USAID, and the foreign fraud rings, it's astounding that anything gets done in this country at all. So hey, here's what I have to say. Thank God that President Trump is back in office and finally these problems are getting solved. Because under Democrat leadership, this country was pretty much like a slowly dying animal, completely infested with parasites and getting picked apart by vultures. And between you and me, I just can't believe that no one has ever actually made a concerted effort to really try to fix these issues. I guess when we talk about the swamp, this is exactly what we're talking about. Just a bunch of corrupt career politicians that only ever got into politics in the first place as a cheap way to make money at the taxpayer's expense, abusing their position of elected office for self-gain and self-privilege. And this is how all of these corrupt politicians end up having tens of millions of dollars despite just having a $150,000 yearly salary. So hey, once again, thank God those days are over. Finally, this country is back on track. Once again, we are putting America first, and we really are making America great again. But folks, I think that's going to be a wrap for this one, so please go down below in the comments and let me know what you think about all of this. While you're down there, please consider liking the video if you liked it. Please subscribe to the channel. It really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for watching, and of course, as always, stay safe.